welcome back to another episode of the Geek Podcast.
This is your host, Charlie Radio Williams, and this is Sean-Luc.
Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Podcast.
And sir, we are live. Why do you look like that?
I'm sorry, that was just a shocker. I'm like, wait, what? Huh?
So, like I said this week, and I'm gonna put context to this in a second. When you do stuff like that on video, people can see what I am talking about. When we are doing audio, people cannot see the stupid ass gestures that you are doing. And like right now, people who are listening in cannot see that right now. You are doing a screen grab of yourself, and I'm hard at describing. You're doing a screen grab of yourself, doing a dumbass, happy Sean smile.
Dang right. That is my signature smile.
That is your signature smile. You need to lock that shit up in a cabinet.
Wow. Wow.
I've seen you. I've seen you do better. I've seen you as a happier person. I feel like that's a fake facade of yours.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to drastically cut Sean off. Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Radio Williams.
And this is Sean-Luc.
And just to jump back to context of what I was talking about when I said that Sean, we just had a conversation about how Sean will make like these dumb expressions or sounds, and we're doing the podcast and people cannot see when they're hearing the audio portion. Recently we did a pre-recording for INBEON CON, correct? INBEON CON?
Yes, we did.
It was a virtual panel where we were joined with other podcasters, including the Nerds of the Round, Catch the Craze,
Adrian Has Issues. Geek Ronan.
Yes, Geek Ronan.
And I don't know. He did this, the beard, as we call him.
The beard.
Right? He does a lot of podcasting. So, it was to me, it was a great panel. I think everybody should go check it out. It's August 29th, 3 p.m. at INBEON CON. You should guys check out the entire event. It's a completely virtual. It's going to be a very interesting and unique experience, especially since the con deals more so with artists than actual like big name performers and stuff like that.
It's a lot of independent artists that we want to support and, make sure like right now we're all growing as people are home and they're putting out as much work as possible. They're really like working for the fans. During this, during this con, I feel real nervous. Like I want people to watch, but then I'm also nervous because for the first time, Sean allowed for me to have a voice.
Oh, really? For the first time? Okay.
And to be able to speak and be able to say the things that I want to say and just be very vocal about what it takes to podcast. And I'm very nervous because they kept saying that Jess, I think it's Jessie, right? Sebastian's wife, and I think that's the show's editor, is going to be doing a lot of cuts, and I just keep thinking in the back of my head, oh, did I say too much? Did I say like the wrong thing?
You did not say too much. The reason why there's going to be cuts is nothing to do with the content or whatever the case may be. It's just the simple fact that they're taking and reducing the time so that it's allotted for the convention. It's the same thing like as if we were doing it live. We'd have a certain allotted amount of time, and we could only do what we can do based on that allotted time.
Can you imagine a live G for G?
I want to do that so badly. Have a panel with the G is for Geek and a bunch of other podcasters just shooting the shit in one episode and we just air it on all our podcasts simultaneously.
That'd be great. A lot of inside jokes, a lot of outside jokes, a lot of cross-side jokes. I don't even know what that means. I'm just putting joke at the end of things.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So what else are we gonna? Because clearly we came in, with no idea what to do today.
Well, we can talk a little bit about INBEON CON because it was a very fun panel to do. I ended up speaking a lot because I do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And I gave you as much praise as I will ever give you there that I will not give you here.
I don't need your praise, little man. This comes from the one who is shorter than the two of us. I don't need your praise. All right.
Napoleon.
There was a sermon given at the very end. A very intense podcast sermon
by Pastor Williams himself.
Pastor Radio Williams got up and did a podcast sermon that I think
I honestly, without giving away anything or too much, so that you guys can listen in on it. It was a fun panel.
Yeah.
Apparently, as the guys from Nerds of the Round said, it was actually one of the more fun panels of the show, and I look forward to hearing it again, even though I don't like hearing my voice.
I love hearing your voice when I'm not editing. When I don't have to edit it.
Can we talk about the fact that you brought up the calendar again?
Oh, the calendar that everyone keeps signing on to, the calendar that's about us raising money to a good charitable cause, especially with COVID-19. Like, I'm telling you, we need to get you on green screen. We already have people willing to be photographers, and I want different photographers for this. I want to get you in different outfits. I want to get you in the Latin lover outfit. I want to get you in the Napa outfit. Just different outfits for every month of the year, and then we can.
The thing is, if it's cosplay related, you better be ready to pay for. You better be ready to pay my cosplay maker.
Your cosplay maker? Wait, who?
You know who?
Oh. Listen, that's fine as long as we can get the best. And then I'm thinking, or bear with me. I'm thinking, not only do we do calendars, right? We do a behind the scenes shoot of us doing a day photographing you for this calendar shoot. We do like little postcards of you as well that we can give out to people. I'm just going to get a ton of Sharpies so you can just like sign your name.
Nobody's going to want it. I'm telling you.
We're going to turn you into an overnight celebrity and you're not even going to realize it. Like, people are going to be like, that's the guy from the Geektopia.
Those who burn brightest burn quickest.
That's fine. That's fine. I've said it in the past, and I'll say it again. I'm out to milk that ass. So, well, I mean, that sounds weird.
Yeah, that sounds really inappropriate.
I'm out to milk money out that buttocks. That buttocks. This is going to be on YouTube. So, by the way, so people will be hearing this and they will be questioning, like, why is radio talking about milking out of
buttocks? That's literally what's going to happen. Yeah. Milking.
Oh, you know, I completely forgot to say this. Once again, if you're joining us on the show, this is super late. If you're joining us on the Geeks Podcast, this is a Shoot the Shit podcast where we talk about anything and everything that's both geek related as well as personal, you know, with our personal lives, relationship lives, just life being a geek in general. Yeah. What it's like to live a geek life. Also breaking down stereotypes of what geek life is. Mm-hmm. You know, because, you know, not every geek doesn't watch sports. I watch sports. Okay? I'm watching the truncated season of basketball and baseball. You know, I'm watching what they're going to do with football and see how crazy that's going to be. I'm watching sports. Why do you say it like that? I watch sports all the time. Esports does not count. Esports does count. Esports technically is one of the only events that's actually happening right now sports-wise. Clearly not, because baseball is literally happening. And think about this. With esports, you don't need to be in a colosseum. Let that sink in. First of all, who plays in a colosseum? Is this so you've never been to esports tournaments that's been at a stadium. A stadium is a coliseum. It's still a coliseum. It isn't. How is it the same? It's still a coliseum. If you go to Madison Square Gardens, it's a coliseum. If you go to the Barclays Center, it's a coliseum. I want to disagree on that one. It's actually in the name. It's a coliseum.
my phone. I'm not going to go into my phone. I will wait. But if the users if our fans out there want to dispute or agree with you, let them do it. I don't believe it's the same, but I'm thinking it in a different way because I'm thinking about the Roman colosseums and stuff like that.
First of all, I don't know if you know this, but the way that we view sports, it's no different than the Roman Colosseum. The only thing we eliminated is the fact that you don't die if you lose. All right. All of our sports come from...
Depends. Look at boxing or UFC.
You don't die at the end of a match in UFC. All right. There have been regulations to prevent that.
Close to it.
Wait, what?
You come real close to it sometimes.
You know, I'm not even gonna touch that. All I'm saying is, like, if you look at sports is just inherited from Colosseum games, the Olympics, Colosseum games. Another difference is when we go to a basketball game, at no point do they unleash a lion.
You know what? That would be awesome.
That would be terrifying. All right. Can you imagine, like, you're watching a football game, like you're watching, like, let's say the Packers versus the New England Patriots. I don't know why I went with that route. And, like, a lion comes out on the field, like several lions, maybe an alligator or two.
I got one better for you. Imagine if it was the Lions versus the Jaguars, right? And the literal animal names come out during certain parts of the game. Right, yes. Like you're trying to go for that touchdown. Next thing you know, a lion pops out of freaking nowhere to try and stop you.
Let's up this ante on adding animals back into sports. What if football and rugby require you to have swords and shields, maces and chain whips? Let's go back. Let's adapt instead of the XFL. Let's make it the Roman FL. Where we go back to, like, no shirts, sweaty bods. I'm getting a little, I don't know about this. Brass or bronze helmets, spears, and chain nets.
So minus the whole spears and chains, you're basically talking about, like, regular play football, like as if we're chilling with our people.
I'm saying let's combine the gladiator with football.
Don't they have something like that already? There's arena football.
No. See, arena football is, I mean, it's brutal. It's just like, hey, let's play rugby, but with American football rules and bare minimum outfits. What I'm saying, we go back to gladiator times. We take the gladiator tournament and we just combine that with football, and we make it legal in the one place that everything is legal, New Jersey.
Jesus Christ.
They just make it legal there.
I know. I unfortunately have to agree with you on that one.
We just
I want to see how that plays out. I really do. I want to see somebody throw a football and then literally somebody else try to catch it with a spear.
No. So all right, so here's the game etiquette, right? You still have to catch the ball, but both the defenders and the offensive team have weapons and shields. Right, and one or two players who have no weapons and shields are responsible for receiving the ball and running it.
Okay.
I hope nobody out there steals my idea. I think this is a great idea.
Well, we could copyright it because you literally said it on air.
Before you say radio, like, you're insane, like, this just goes against, like, humanity. This is brutal. I say what we do is we get rapists, pedophiles, and extreme murderers, and we have them play the game. There.
There's a movie out called The Condemned that did that, but it's more of like a survival game where you literally kill each other so you can get like $1 million or something.
No money. No money involved. This is more like a survival game. It's a complete survival game. Right? You go the distance. Right? Yeah. Wait, what? We're not going to co-sign on this? Fine. Then. All right.
I'm not co-signing on death. However, I will adhere to your idea.
Sir, I'm not promoting this for the death part. I'm promoting this for the competitive part. The fact that we look at death and not competition is a problem. All right.
Really?
We should be looking at the competitiveness of the athletes and the players who have been chosen to play this game and not the outcome of the negative. All right. It's like football, right? We all know that there are tons of sports injuries. There's a large number of sports injuries, even though that people are wearing are strapped up in I'm going to say armor, but it's not armor, in protective wear. There we go. In protective wear. But with that being said, hey, at the end of the day, it's about the points. It's about the score.
Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Do you think his idea was yes? Today's one of those. I'm going to talk to the fans more so than talk to him.
I don't trust the Geektopians.
Why not?
I don't trust the Geektopians. You know,
why not? They're the most unbiased individuals out there. I mean, look at Potterhead, Star Trek, Star Trekkies, Star Wars, Doctor Who, Transformers, and so on and so forth. Those fans are very fair and balanced, very, optimistic to change, and, very open to these wonderful and changing of ideas. I'm pretty sure they will click to your idea without a problem at all.
What you're saying is people who are Decepticon, who believe in the Decepticon belief, would support me. That's messed up, Sean. That's kind of like saying that all races are Trump supporters. Not all races are Trump supporters.
Name one racist that isn't.
I'm not touching that one. What I will say is, not all people who believe in the Decepticon believe in what I'm saying.
I never said they believed in Decepticon belief. I'm talking about the fans that are very rabid about the fact of, change.
Why are you? Right? You're calling the fans rabid?
I'm saying, okay, what I'm saying is, if I have to explain the goddamn joke, okay, is the fact that these fans are so rabid and so stuck in the ways.
These fans, Sean? These fans?
Yes, I'm going heel. I'm healing it up today.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this show. And
wow, really? Already? We're not even, 15 minutes in?
Oh, God. This is a long show.
Wow, really? 15 minutes? We go like hours.
This is like a long show. So,
anyway, you were going to complain about something.
Oh, so today I wanted to complain about Umbrella Academy Season 2. So I'm seeing like all these positive reviews about Season 2 and how much people love it. And I'm like, did people really watch Season 1? Did they really because sometimes when a season comes out, you kind of jump back to the previous season to kind of get into what is the story just so you can play catch up. Watching Season 2, I felt like I wanted my time back.
Why?
So you're telling me, and me and my roommate was talking about this, and after a long discussion, it actually makes perfect sense what he was saying, and I totally agree with him. You telling me these young, superpowered adults who, despite the fact that, they're dealing with daddy issues and, about how they were raised, still have the mentality of being teenagers as adults. You are telling me that the decisions that they're making, they are superheroes. They were trained to not only understand how to fight crime, but to understand different languages, to understand tactical skills, to understand how to be in the field and deal with engagement to powers, and especially whether you're talking about time travel, if you're talking about superpower, like super villains, or just in general. But they all are acting like they're teenagers.
I think you're missing the point. I think you're missing the major part of what makes Umbrella Academy so special. Now, mind you, this is actually one of the few shows that I've watched and not having the background of the comics to go for it.
Please tell me, enlighten me.
So, Umbrella Academy is more the daddy issues itself, right? Just speak to the psyche of where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they were brought up in a certain way with very little social constructs behind it, and very little to do with anything else. Not to mention the oldest member of their team literally became the youngest in the blink of an eye.
So here's what I'm going to call bullshit. Because that youngest member, 5, who is, to me, one of the best written characters throughout the whole entire series, even though he's only older because of timing age, he acts more responsible than all of them. And they're all supposed to be the same age.
You have to understand. Look at it like this. Think about it. He's also the only one that stepped outside of the academy, right? And literally did things outside of the academy.
Wait, no. Because once again, if you look at the, I'm trying to remember all of the names. If you look at the daughter, I have to pull up names for the cast of the show of the characters.
We can go with not Ellen Page.
Okay, so if you go with the daughter who has the ability to whisper, right? I don't know if you know this. She was in a relationship. She has a kid, right?
Yeah.
How is it in season 2? She is like, when they're like, hey, we need to go back to the future, all of a sudden her daughter doesn't matter, right? There's a part where she's like, oh, I'm worried about my daughter from the future. Then she's like, you know what? I can't go back to the future because this is my life now. And then she jumps back to the future and she's like, oh, maybe I need to check on my daughter. So there's inconsistency there with that character where it's like, how is it? I think
also the fact that when you see the whole theory of time travel is convoluted at best, because when you time travel, right, you're assuming that you're going to come back in the same spot that you were when you time travel.
But all right, if that's the case, they didn't write it where like she gave up on her daughter. She still references her daughter. So
she's always going to reference her daughter. But that's her daughter.
But do you see the inconsistency there? She references her daughter when it comes to time of her actually choosing to go back in time. And that's at the very end. When 5 was trying to round them all up to go back to the future, and I know this is a spoiler. I don't give a fuck. It's been on Netflix. I don't give a crap. This has been on Netflix for a couple of weeks now. When it came time for them to go back into the future, oh no, I don't want to leave my husband. To which that affects the timeline. Each of them.
No. She was ready and willing to bring him with her.
Which affects the timeline. To which, once again,
everybody, everybody's real selfish.
All of them affect the timeline. All of them to make these decisions affect the timeline. To which, once again, for these highly intelligent superheroes,
trying to save John F. Kennedy every single goddamn time.
Oh, well, first of all, as a character, like, he's just the most ridiculous. And I actually love what the father says to him, where, like, you're super compelled to want to be a hero without realizing that you aren't a hero. Like, you're trying so hard to be a hero, but you're not a hero. You're, and that's actually very, very interesting to see, like, that kind of dynamic. Like, and
I think that's the other thing. Like, they've been playing hero for so long that what they think is heroism may not be heroism per se, right? Because they've explored it when they were younger, but they never really explored it as they were older. They always had this ideology that they were going to do this they were going to try to stop this apocalyptic event. Right? But they end up going through so many goddamn different scenarios.
Vanya, that's it. Vanya, Klaus, Ben.
They go through so many different scenarios that when it finally comes time to, save Vanya, right? It's only 3 of them basically. And then it took the one that died 17 years ago, right, to actually stop the quote unquote bomb.
True, and I kind of hate the fact that like we'll see what happens in season 3. I would love to see his character come back, or because apparently we're playing with time. Apparently we're playing with time travel. Well, he's back in an alternate.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
Once and you turn into that.
It's not the same Ben, but I would love to see.
But I want to know the team because so according to what I read. In the comics, the Sparrow Academy literally just started in the Umbrella Academy comics. So this is literally fresh off the pages of the comic that they're putting into the show.
Okay.
So I'm also interested to see, because they're running off of, they're literally doing a fresh paper. Well, it's sort of what they did with the end of Scott Pilgrim, right? Because Scott Pilgrim was still being written when they were doing the movie, so they created their own ending of the movie.
I can see that. Even though I feel like Scott Pilgrim is one of the greatest movies that can be used for a lot of comparisons as far as like accepting an adaptation versus holding it true to the original source.
Sure.
So,
right.
And I feel like a lot of people don't talk about that. Like, you can watch Scott Pilgrim without reading the 7 books and still enjoy it in a way that if you read the 7 books, like in the same sense, being that the two have 2 different, like,
the entire storyline is completely different.
Yeah, I mean, like, Scott's a prick. He's definitely
in both mediums. He's an asshole, right? Like, so, like in both mediums, he literally cheated on Knives with Ramona, right? Like, and not to mention the fact that when they do find out, they find out way earlier in the book than they do in the movie.
Well, not only did he cheat, he broke Kim's. Kim was in a relationship that Scott freed her from, and then he broke things up with her to end up with Stacy. No, not Stacy. What's her name? The one that they kept saying like we can't mention. The lead singer.
Roxy.
But it's a different name she has. Like,
not Roxy. Oh, I know who you're talking. Not
Knives.
I know who you're talking
about.
His big X, the singer.
Yeah.
Which spoiler alert, in the comics actually does help him.
It's not a spoiler. Listen, first of all, let's talk about that, right, for a minute. When people, because that does make me mad. If something's been out longer than if it's been out longer than 2 weeks, it's a spoiler, right? If it's been out longer than 5 months, yeah. But once you start getting past a year, 2 years, 3 years, I've had a conversation where somebody was like, "Oh, don't spoil Naruto for me because I'm watching it for the first time." Look, shit's been out longer than 5 years. 10.
Yeah, but maybe they want to experience the surprises and the shocks for themselves.
Yeah, I would love to do that too. But understand, when there are so many memes and so much on the internet, well, that's in your face.
That's when you take a break from social media and be like, you know what? I don't want to spoil myself.
Not for a show.
Or Avengers Endgame.
Well, first of all, you're a prick because you, before a movie comes out, like to deep dive and try to read the whole synapse of the script. And even after just when the movie comes out, you try to find a copy of the script and all the information you can. So you're kind of going into it knowing what's going to happen. All right. People like you should just choke themselves. I mean, I don't understand why that's a thing.
For me, I'm a very knowledgeable person, so I want to be, I want to have that knowledge because I'm the type of person that even if I read it, seeing it on screen or seeing it on your TV screen, right, still has a different weight. No, to
it takes away the visual nostalgia.
Allow me to explain. Okay, Game of Thrones. Okay, we knew that we actually did a spoiler. Right? And we knew what the entire 8th season was going to be about. Okay? And we still watched it because we wanted to see how that plays out. I wanted to see, Dany take out King's Landing. Right? I want to see that visually. So it's one thing to hear about it. It's one thing to read about it. Like in Endgame, yes, I read a lot of different things going on here and there. There was one where I read that Captain America dies. There was one that I read that, 2/3 of the Avengers die, which thinking about it now could actually have been true. But the point is that there are different mediums out there that give their different spoilers, if you will.
So here's my question to you. Who destroyed your childhood? Who destroyed your childhood? Who got to the point in your childhood that every time you went to go watch something, read something, they just told you about it, that you like, you know what? I now need to be the smartest guy in the room, and I need to always know what's happening before it happens. No. Answer the question. Who destroyed your childhood?
Just because I know it doesn't mean I'm going to blow it out for everyone else.
But you do.
No, I don't.
You do.
No.
You do it all the time.
No, I actually do not.
All the time.
No, I do not.
I can't talk to you about anything.
The only person I actually talk to about this is another person that thinks like me and wants to know.
And somebody destroyed their childhood. I bet you destroyed their childhood. I bet you took the characteristics of whoever destroyed your childhood and was like, you know what? I'm going to pass this along. So you meet people who you say deep down, they believe just like I do. And what you do is you destroy their childhood. You destroy their souls. And you get them to think like you do. Y'all all go to the movies together. And you continue the process. And your sole belief is that you need people to join you in ruining. You're also the same creators who, instead of releasing an actual trailer that excites you about the movie, you create a trailer that tells the entire movie. That's you. That's what are you whispering?
Oh, what I'm saying is that's definitely not true because I can't even use like video editing software or Photoshop or anything like that to actually create a trailer.
And you're lying. You're lying. The Geektopians know you're lying. I know you're lying. All right. There's nothing about you that's innocent. All right. There's nothing about you that's pure.
Is that 9 times out of 10. Unless it's somebody that wants to be spoiled, I will not spoil it for them.
Unless it's somebody that wants to be spoiled, no, you spoil everything.
No, if that person wanted to be spoiled, like me and my best friend always get into arguments because he doesn't want to know anything. Even if it's like 2-3 months down the line, he doesn't want to know anything because he hasn't seen it yet.
Because he sees through your evilness.
No, it's not even that. It's just apparently that's how he is. He doesn't want to be spoiled, by which I'm like, yeah, you're not necessarily going to enjoy life that way because eventually if you don't see it right away, you're eventually going to get spoiled no matter what
because of people like you.
Somebody, not me, but somebody's going to say something.
They're from your camp. They're people like you. It's true, we know it.
You want to know a spoiler alert? INBEON CON August 29th 3 p.m. Dang, why did I say p.m.? Spoiler alert, you're actually funny.
Ooh. I am not hilarious. I'm just a dude that shows up and I'm behind the scenes.
Oh, really? That's what you're doing? That's what you're going with?
Yeah. But with that being said, we are wrapping up. Don't listen to Sean. I have dry humor. I'm not a funny dude at all. We have shirts that are up online at teespring.com at Sketchfed where you can check them out. As always, I'm going to put images up. They should be right here. You can see our shirts. As Sean said, INBEON CON August 29th, 3 p.m.
3 p.m. I believe.
3 p.m. Yeah.
They have a show schedule list. If you go to INBEON.com or INBEONCon.com. Right. They have a schedule list so that you could see where we are as well as other things, including the cosplay contest and the artist interviews and things like that.
And you can catch us with
what?
That was what Catch the Craze.
Oh, you're talking about who was with us?
Yeah.
We're talking about the people like Adrian Has Issues, Catch the Craze, Geek Ronin, Nerds of the Round, right? Like all of them, yeah.
And remember, feel free to hit us up on our Twitter, our Instagram. Instagram is at the G's for Geektopians or on Sketchfed. Twitter is at the 2 Geeks. You can hit us up on G's for Geek Facebook and Geektopians. Before we get out of here, let us know what kind of cosplay costumes you want to see Sean wear for the 2021
It's going to have to be 2022.
G for
photography takes forever.
2020. Yeah, you're right. The 2022. Well, no, we can do it this year. We can get it out the way this year. The 2021. Well, if we do this now, we can get them printed by what, December? So the 2021 G is for Geek Latin Lover Edition calendar set, with Sean doing different poses per month, with independent growing artists, talented cosplay artists doing the design work, me behind the scenes making sure that I crack that whip to milk that, that financial butt, and we get things going.
If this does work out, I will be more than willing to create an OnlyFans to have the entire photo sets available for purchase.
You heard it. He is willing to create an OnlyFans where the Latin Lover brings you deep, deep into himself and everything that he is willing to share and open spreadingly wide for you guys. All right. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Charlie Radio Williams.
And this is Sean-Luc.
And as always, we are out. I think we should say, as always, we are out here.
Why?
Because I'm always saying we are out of here. Like, why are we out of here? I always make this argument. Like, why are we out?
Normally, we're in the studio and we are out of here means that we are leaving.
Oh, and but to say as always, we are out of here.
As always, we are signing off.
So, as always, we are out here. I like that. That's better.
Fine.
It's like saying we geeks. We're out here.
You got to stay geek and all that stuff. So apparently this is nothing new.
Wait, are you saying the Geektopians can get a shirt that says "Stay Geek"? That's from the Sketchfed wear. That's going to be up recently.
Or the fact that I'm a Geektopian, but my eyes are up here. That one. I
love that shirt. I'm waiting for mine to come now.
I have to purchase. I'm going to be purchasing all of them so I can start using them for Geektopian.
Good. Now, once again, we're out of here. Stay geek, people. Stay geek.
The G is for Geek podcast with Charlie Radio Williams and Sean-Luc is a presentation of Sketchfed Studios, produced by Charlie Williams and edited by Hannibal Darby. To find more episodes of the G is for Geek podcast, make sure you check them out at Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever else your podcast needs. If you need to hear Charlie Radio Williams and Sean-Luc shoot the shit on any of your topics or questions, please send a tweet to the two geeks on Twitter, or you can send a message on Instagram for the Geektopians. For web series, podcasts, blogs, and more, please make sure to head over to sketchfedstudios.com. And as always, stay geeky, stay you.